Hi, this is Abe Friedtanzer from Movies with Abe, and I'm thrilled to be speaking with Pavel Lungin, the director of the new film Esau. How are you
Hmm.
doing today?
Oh, look, I'm doing fine, but I see what paradise you have behind you. it's not so, it's not so wonderful. But Paris is always Paris. Even if it's cold, it's beautiful and full of sun.
Absolutely. No, I think people tend to think Paris is pretty nice, but Los Angeles is good too. So I'd love to talk to you about your new film. How did you get interested in this project, and how did you first encounter the book by Meir Shalev?
Look, I just, I'm a Russian Jew, and in the same time, I'm not religious. I never was religious. And, at the age of, when you are at the age of 50, for example, you begin to feel much more Jewish than you are doing. And the question is what it means to be Jew, what it means to be Jew, what it means to be, are you Israeli? If I understand, you live in Israel, what it means to be Jew if you are living in Europe or if you are living in Russia, what is the special, some special feeling of being a little apart at the same time to being in between, and so I discovered books of Meir Shalev, his first book, which is called Russian Novel. It's about the foundation of the state of Israel. I don't know if it's well known in the United States, but in principle, Israel was built by Russian immigrants, but Russian immigrants who was flying from old Tsarist Russia after of the Soviet Russia, and so it was his first novel, and his second novel that I read was Esau, and I fell in love with it. It's very sad, but it's very profound story of what family means. Can you escape your family? Can you be back in your family? All these things that it has, of course, no answers. Everybody has to understand them by themselves. So, and it was my first English speaking film, and it was quite an adventure for me.
Absolutely. And I have a few, you touched on a few of the questions I wanted to ask, so I'll try to figure out which order to go in. Um, did you consider making this film in Hebrew rather than in English?
It's a problem. Uh, I don't speak. I already, as you see, as you are hearing, my English is not so good.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
I can read, but no, no. It's not. It's not the total freedom, when you feel some little things, and but Hebrew never. And I don't know how to do it. At the same time, I understand that if it was if it was done in Hebrew, it could be more authentic. Yes, authentic,
Authentic.
authentic.
Right.
No,
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 yeah,
no. I've read Bear Shalev in both in Russian and in English, but Hebrew is very far from me. Yes.
that makes sense. And so I'm I saw a lot of interesting comparisons to the biblical story of Jacob and Esau, but there are also some important differences. Like, for instance, in the film, their father is not Isaac, but Abraham. So I'm curious about the biblical comparisons, where they start and where they sort of stop, and how much of that was related to the book and how much of that was something that was purposeful that you wanted to do.
He's very he's ironical, Meir Shalev. He confronted everything. Everything is mixed up. The father is Abraham, and Esau is Esau in Bible was a big, huge man who was a hunter, who was much more powerful than Jacob, and Jacob was some kind of intelligent, nice boy, and there everything is mixed up uh, because I don't know. In reality, I don't know why he did it. I think that he is very twisted in some way, and he didn't want just to make an illustration of biblical novel. For him, was very important. I think that there is a Russian, there is a Russian presence in his novel because mother of Mir Shalev, she was Russian. She was one of these Russian immigrants who came in Israel. He's not speaking Russian, but still he understood that there is something special in his blood, perhaps in the family, because the problem of this drama of the family, each family has a drama. I don't know why, but it's like it. And so the drama of this family was that the mother is Russian, father is Jewish, and he is very Jewish, and he is in love with her at the same time. He cannot accept her, and he thinks and she understands that she is not of his culture. All this love and hate uh, for the family. Yeah. It destroyed them all, yes.
Right. Well, I think you said Esau, is not this big, strong guy. And it's funny because I think I first encountered Lior Ashkenazi in Walk on Water all those years ago when he was this sort of sleek spy. And then now a lot of the roles he's had recently in Footnote and Valley of Tears and Our Boys has been, a much more reserved presence who doesn't really fight back. And Mark Evanier, I knew on Homeland, also as a as a spy, and here he's sort of more of an angry baker. And so I'm curious what roles you knew those two actors from, and what led you to choose them for these parts.
I think that Lior is much more a writer because uh, the main hero, the main character is he's a writer. He's writing about bread, and when he's coming back to Israel, he had said that he can write in general, that his youth is coming, and and Mark Evaner is very tough guy. He's very tough. He is Russian. He is a Russian. Really. He speaks Russian like me, and he's very inside him. There is some monster, some animal, inside him, and he absolutely made me think about Jacob of this story. And Lior Ashkenazi, you never can catch him, he never can understand him to the end, ironical, strange, he's with you and he's not with you. And he matched a lot for the character, yes. And physically he's bigger than Mark, yes, and he's more tough, more physically developed, but on the level of inside, of the energy, of the interior energy, Mark Evanier is going much more expressive than Lior. I like Lior a lot. He's perhaps the best actor now in Israel, the most interesting actor of his generation in the Israeli cinema. A big star in Israel.
Absolutely. And what about Harvey Keitel? What made you want him for the role of the older Abraham?
Harry Keitel is a dream, is a dream. I was in love with him from my childhood, from the first film of Scorsese, of course, from Main Street, and from taxi driver, yeah, and suddenly I thought that I can have a chance just to work with him. And he's such a nice guy, and he's really very open to the work. The only thing that interests him is the work. He's absolutely inside. He's absolutely. Uh, we became good friends, and we even exchange by letters from time to time, by mails, which is very rare in the cinema. You know, the secret of cinema is that you are together, end of the film, no more family, you are in a new family. And there's a Harvey Keitel, it was something that will make us good friend, yes.
It's good to
He,
hear that. He's really not very nice in the film, so it's good to hear that he's
but
nice in real
he's
life.
good. He's good in the film. Huh? He's amazingly
Oh,
good.
absolutely, absolutely.
He never played the role of old Jew there, and you know it's very interesting how some the memory of centuries is coming through you. How suddenly you know it appears, and he was very involved. He was very interested by the role, and I think that it was very interesting for him also just to live in this new skin for him.
Yeah, I mean, he's somebody who has a long career, and then you have someone like Shira Haas, who you have in a relatively small role. I know that Stissel was already, I think, was already out by the time you had started filming this, but did you expect the big success that she would have with Unorthodox?
Yes, unorthodox. You know, unorthodox for me is a complicated film. I at the beginning was interesting. I didn't like that they were showing Jewish Orthodox family like concentration camp or Nazi, you know, and so it was for me. It was a little too political oriented, you know, um, in some way. But Shiri is wonderful. She is wonderful, and she's so different in Esau. She's so different in unorthodox, and she's a very big actress. I'm sure that she will make a very interesting career. She can very intelligent, very bright girl. You know, she's little like this. She's absolutely. He can be a woman, and he can be a child, and he can be beautiful, and she can be ugly. And it's very. It was really a gift for me.
That's great. Have you had any reactions from religious audiences that have seen this film, whether it's Jewish, Christian, anything else, and has that been different from any other reactions you've heard?
I don't know. You know, I never showed it. It's the first release because of this pandemic situation. So it's difficult to find a distribution for the cinema. So I'm waiting. I think it will finish. And the first appearance of this film is in the United States, there on this platform. So I don't know what they will say. I even didn't show it yet in Russia. But you know, it's not it's not against religion. It's not for religion. It's something. The religion of this film is family, auto destruction, love, hate, all the things. It's for him, it's, family psychology. It make it him Mayor Shalev very close to me because you know it's a big tradition of Russian novels of Dostoevsky, of Tolstoy. They were always centered on some human psychology of the situation of the family and you know we can be believer or not but still we know some ways that God exists.
What's next for you?
It's not clear. It's not clear. It's the most the bigger mystery of human being. Yes.
What would
Why,
you like? What would you
why
like to
he
do?
is sure that God exists and why he is not sure, never sure and never not sure, and why he is living between these two. Big question, I don't know.
Okay, well, thank you very much for talking to me. Esau will be released on December 1st on digital and VOD in the United States, and hopefully many other places after that.